Welcome to another FPL video. This is going to be a team selection for Game Week 5. I'm also going to be looking at how Game Week 4 went, then looking ahead for my transfer plans for Game Week 5, talking about the main discussion points, such as should we keep Antonio in our teams, as well as the captaincy. Is it as simple as Mohamed Salah? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but without further ado, let's head straight into the video. Game Week 4 was yet another decent week. I got a green arrow to around 121k in the world. I took a -4 hit in order to get in Jota, Ronaldo and Cody, and in the end I got 74 points overall, so pretty happy with that. Remember, you can join the league still. Obviously you can see on the left hand side of your screen, and also in the description below there is a link as well as the code which you can copy and paste, 886RGT. And massive shout out to everyone. We reached 5,000 subscribers and 500 followers on Twitter on the same day, pretty much same moment. And a big shout out to everyone who sent in super chats in the last few live streams, and also 2 channel members, Rodrigo Arias and Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Really appreciate it. And of course, good luck to both of you for the whole season. What you see on screen is how my team did in Game Week 4. And I'll just go through it briefly. So Ben White got a clean sheet, but got a yellow card unfortunately, and I expected Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. They weren't too convincing against Norwich overall, but in terms of expected goals conceded, they only had 0.4, so pretty impressive. Then again though, it is Norwich and they should have scored more goals in that game. Trent Alexander-Arnold, another great performance, clean sheet, assist and maximum bonus points. You can't really ask for much more, and that's why even in wildcards I always talk about him, and I think he's not essential, but he is the best defender in the game in my opinion. Luke Shaw as well, 5 points, got the assist, didn't get the clean sheet, but a great assist for Ronaldo. That was a pretty good goal against Newcastle. And in terms of, between the sticks, yeah, Sanchez got 6 points, so not much to shout about there, but very happy with him as a 4.5 million option. And yeah, he's still probably my favourite from those that you can pick. And then in terms of the midfield, Greenwood got another assist, but very fortunate because Woodman, the Newcastle goalkeeper, spilled that effort, and then that gave Ronaldo his debut goal. Jota, very disappointing, and whenever I get him in, he seems to just blank or just forget how to score and to get assists. Of course, he was very unfortunate because Mane was missing some gilt-edged chances, but in the end of the day, Jota is a good asset, and I think he will come good. Of course, it's very frustrating for Liverpool to score that many goals and Jota not to be involved in any of them. Benrahma as well didn't really look threatening in this game. This is probably one of his worst performances. And West Ham and Southampton, it was just a pretty, I've never expected it to be a 0-0 really, and it is what it is. And of course, Antonio got sent off. So very, very poor from that. And obviously in UCL Fantasy, I also have Wan-Bissaka. He got sent off. So yeah, I don't have the greatest luck at the moment in terms of red card players. And then Salah, once again, he got a goal. No bonus points, which is a bit, I don't say annoying, but it is a bit frustrating. Either way, though, Salah's just ticking over every single game and getting the returns that we want. Ivan Toney is a big cause for concern. And yeah, I'm not really feeling him at the moment. And even from the beginning, just didn't have too much confidence in him, and I probably, in hindsight, should have used the money in the defence, even if it's to get a Chelsea defender from the off, but it is what it is. Antonio's going to be the big talking point. Will I keep him in? I'll be talking about my transfer plans very soon. Ronaldo as my captain, very happy with him, and I think that was the main reason I got a green arrow. It's a bit unfortunate that I benched Cody. Then again, though, who would I have started him over? Maybe Ivan Toney, but I wouldn't have benched Benrahma and the others, to be honest. And then Brownhill and Ayling, not really much to talk about there. So overall, good week. Obviously, there's a few weaknesses that you can see in my team, and I definitely want to be improving my defence even more if possible. And if not, upgrading Toney to another striker, even a Jimenez, would be ideal. But unfortunately, I don't have the money available to do that. And also, you could arguably say that I should have got Marcel instead of Cody. And of course, Marcel got 13 points. But I honestly probably wouldn't have played him if I got Marcel in. It would have been the same as Cody on my bench. And he got 2 assists, of course. And everyone's raving about Marcel. His price has gone up, and he'll be very popular on the wildcard. And moving on to Game Week 5, this is how my team is looking. 5 defenders. Yeah, obviously it does seem very weird, but at this moment in time, Antonio's out. He's suspended against Manchester United. Benrahma, without Antonio, and just, I don't know, I can see United winning this game, especially after their defeat to Young Boys. I think they're going to be very hungry to right the wrongs there. And the defence is fine, to be honest. They all have good fixtures, really. Sure, against West Ham, maybe he won't keep a clean sheet. But the rest, you wouldn't be too surprised if they kept a clean sheet. Same, well, actually not really same. Sanchez at home to Leicester, you'd probably expect him to concede there. But of course, there's going to be some weeks where your team looks a bit weaker than others. I like my midfield though. Greenwood was rested against Young Boys. That's fantastic news. And I think he should be starting in the Premier League this weekend. Jota at home to Palace, I think he can do extremely well. The problem is that there's also Salah and Mane. Mane has a fantastic record against Crystal Palace. He hasn't blanked in the last 8 appearances against the Eagles, so that's definitely one to keep an eye on. And hopefully Jota, even if it's an assist or something, he can just get the points that we want. Salah's my captain at the moment. It's going to be between him and Ronaldo, in my opinion. Jota and Trent are also kind of outside captaincy shouts, and Trent is actually someone who he'd probably be in my top 3 in terms of the players I have available. He's definitely right up there, and I am tempted to captain him. But I think Salah, he's also never blanked at home to Crystal Palace, and even if he obviously doesn't get the double-digit returns we want, I just think that it's very unlikely for him to blank in this game, and hopefully I haven't jinxed it there. And then Tony and Ronaldo up front. So obviously, once again, Tony, I'm not really too confident in him. I wish I had another striker instead, or if not, used the funds there to upgrade another position in my team. But it is what it is. Hopefully, if Brentford do score and Cody's clean sheet is wiped out, it's Tony. But I don't know. At this moment in time, I'm just not convinced by Ivan Toney. Ronaldo is actually a really good shout for the captaincy. He's got a decent record against West Ham, and he's been in fine form. He scored yet again against Young Boys. He's looking sharp, and I expect him to continue his goal-scoring run, whether it's in Game Week 5 or in Game Week 6. I expect him to score in one of those games, and he's always a good captaincy shout, to be honest. But that's pretty much it in terms of my team selection currently, and a lot will depend on my transfer plans, what I end up doing, and I've got a few ideas, but to be honest, I still need to fully decide and settle on one. And just like with Game Week 4, I think I might leave the transfers all the way until the last minute, and that's what I did with Ronaldo really, and Jota. So let's wait and see what happens there. So what you see on screen is my team, but in the transfer section, and just to show you a few possibilities of what I could do with my team. So Mikel Antonio could come out, and I could get either Raul Jimenez or Patrick Bamford, actually. I think Bamford could be a really good option. Obviously, Leeds haven't been very impressive, and Bamford, it's rumoured that he's got an injury, and he did say after the game that he was struggling a bit. So that's one to keep an eye on. But if Bamford is fit, and we should know with Marcelo Bielsa's press conference, then I could get him in, and I think he's a good option for the long term, and even just for the immediate short term, because if I do wildcard in Game Week 7 or 8, I think I would probably want to be getting rid of Antonio. Of course, I don't know if I'm definitely going to be wildcarding in that time period, but it is a likely scenario, at least more likely than any other game week at this moment in time. So I wouldn't mind getting someone like Bamford or Jimenez in for the next 2 game weeks for Antonio. He's missing the next week, so he's going to be missing a significant portion of this build-up up until game week 7 or 8. So that's one thing I could do, and if not, I think I could even take another -4. Of course, I definitely don't want to do that, but I could get rid of Ivan Toney and maybe one of these defenders like Ayling, and I can get Marcos Alonso, for example, in defence, and I can just get a 4.5 million bench fodder option, and then I can pretty much play 4-4-2 most weeks. And if not, roll the transfer, that's always a possibility, and I've got exactly enough money to do Benrahma to Rafinha. And to be honest, once again, Leeds have been pretty poor. Rafinha hasn't really impressed too much, but I think with the fixture run they have, they will fix up a bit. I'm not so sure if they're going to reach the heights of last season. I'm a bit concerned about that, but I still think that Rafinha is a good choice and arguably better than Benrahma in the long term, and also even in the immediate short term with Benrahma facing Manchester United next. So yeah, one thing I could definitely do is get Rafinha in for Benrahma, and of course, I literally just got Benrahma in around game week 3, got in on him too late really, and not really impressed by him recently, but of course he can still do the business, especially in game week 6 onwards, but let's wait and see with that. So that's kind of my transfer plans at the moment. I definitely, in the long run, I want to get rid of Ivan Toney and upgrade my defence, and one kind of big reason why I'm considering holding Antonio is because he's got great fixtures in game week 6 and 7. If I don't wildcard in game week 7 or 8, I think it's actually a plausible strategy and option to keep Antonio because he's got some good fixtures, and I think he can outscore Bamford, Jimenez and the like from game week 6 onwards. Of course, in game week 5 he's missing, But either way, he was facing Manchester United, and that was always going to be a tough game for him. But that's kind of the different options I'm thinking about. In my opinion, if you're not wildcarding in Game Week 7 or 8, I would keep Antonio if possible. But if you are wildcarding in Game Week 7 or 8, then you might as well get rid of him, get another striker like Bamford or Jimenez who can do the business right now, and I just think it just makes more sense, to be honest. Of course, a lot of people will be in a situation where they might have used the wildcard already, or they're not planning on using it in Game Week 7 or 8, but they're not able to just have Antonio on the bench because their starting lineup will be weaker. So that's something to consider. But that's kind of all my thoughts on my team selection and my different ideas. Let me know what you think is the best set of transfers or options. Maybe even just roll the transfer, wait for Game Week 6, and then use 2 free transfers going into that. But thank you very much for watching and for all the support. If you've enjoyed it, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here, and share this video around with anyone who loves football, FPL, UCL fantasy, and the like. Really appreciate it. And of course, there'll be more videos to come, including potentially a best wildcard team for Game Week 5, the preview, and as well as the deadline stream, and more UCL fantasy content when the Champions League comes around the corner once again, match day 2. And thank you so much to everyone who tuned in for the match day 1 deadline stream. There was 400, 500 people most of the time, so really appreciate it. And yeah, it was a really good stream as well. And good luck with everyone in UCL Fantasy and FPL. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you next time.